dispatches from the frat house, and ragweed is trying to kill me. To be fair, I'm not the only one. Everybody in the house is really struggling right now, except for 2 of the boys. So, we're dealing with a lot of head fog, and I'm going to try to keep my very red runny nose under control while we try to record this. I wanted to give you guys kind of a review of how the August setup went and show you what I'm doing for September. Not a whole lot has changed, I'll forewarn you of that. I'm still, for my main, weekly and daily planning, I'm using my DIY Fish Midori Traveler's Notebook Inserts version 2.2. I did add a couple of things to the overall setup in my notebook, and I'm still in my narrow creme brulee from Jennifer Harvey at Chic Sparrow on Etsy. I am, however, tweaking how I'm planning projects. In the summer, I always have this habit of kind of reverting to this big, huge, long list of stuff I want to get done with nothing broken down into smaller tasks at all. And then when I get some time, I pick something on the list and I try to tackle the whole thing at once. And I know that this isn't going to work. I know it doesn't. And I do it every summer. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just the nature of summer and having so many people in the house. I have no idea. So, because of that, I am using my field notes, Gemini, also from Jennifer Harvey. And I'll show you that in the video. I'm using that in conjunction with my narrow creme brulee. 2 notebooks in there specifically for trying to break my projects down a little bit more, because I get more done that way. And I know that. I don't know why I do this every summer. So I will show you first the regular Midori Traveler's Notebook Inserts from DIY Fish and everything else that's in that narrow creme brulee. I'll show you what I added. I did also add some monthly calendars from Rogue Crusade on Etsy for forward planning, because I do like to only carry the current month as far as my booklets from DIY Fish go. I had August and September in there for about 2 days. And it was fine. It wasn't that it was too bulky, or I just didn't like it. I can't even really tell you why. I really just want my current month in there. But I knew the hockey schedule was coming out, and I knew I would need to get that in there at least through December. Between that and when the kids have off school and whatnot, I needed to have that stuff in there. So I'll put all the links for everything down below. And I was going to do it as 2 separate videos, but I'm going to put them together, I think, and show you how I'm using the field notes size notebook with my regular size notebook. I'm really sorry if this is shaky, guys. It's windy, and I could not get the iPad to stand up for anything. It tipped over twice. So before I broke it, I thought I'd better just hang on to it. So you guys, let me know what you're doing for September. It's kind of the... I don't know, for me it's kind of the planner lover's trifecta right now. It's the beginning of the school year, always just makes me happy. I'm just one of those people. So it kind of feels like the beginning of a new year. New month, September, started on a Monday, which if you are a weekly based planner like I am, you love, 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 love. And my third part of the trifecta, for me at least, is the kids are back in school. So I do have a little bit of time more to myself during the day without quite so much mom guilt. If Liam takes a nap, I can work and really focus. And so that's all just kind of all at once. It's a nice little trifecta, isn't it? So let me show you what I've got going on in here. I will try to keep the sniffling and the nose wiping to a minimum. and y'all hide from the ragweed as best you can. Okay? Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, so here is a little bit of an August review and a September setup. I already put my September booklet in here, so here's my August booklet. So we're going to move those aside for a second. Actually, no, you know what? We'll do that when we get to it. In here, things are pretty much in the same order that they were in before. So this front notebook is a lightweight Midori insert. It's number 013. And in the center of it, where the elastic holds it in, I put in a couple of reference pages from a grid notebook, because I reference these a lot, so I wanted to have them in here where I have them with me to reference them. Just a couple of things added to this. I updated my table of contents a little bit. This is already stuff you've seen. This is all school stuff, my to-read list, notebook sizes, expenses, keyboard shortcuts, printing instructions. When I've tweaked how I print something, I'm trying to keep track because inevitably somebody will ask and I won't remember how I did it because I did it at like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I'm trying to get better about writing that stuff down. And then some writing stuff that I wanted to reference. This is a flowchart from Write Your Book in 30 Days, which no, I'm not writing my book in 30 days, but it's kind of a nice way to make sure your bases are covered. So I wanted to have it with me, and I didn't want to stick it in my writing notebook where a lot of times I just type on the keyboard when I'm writing. My fingers tend to be able to keep up with my brain a little bit better when I'm typing, but sometimes I write by hand. So I do have a notebook in my wide Gendori that's just writing, but you know, this isn't actually the book. This is kind of reference points for any book that you're writing. So I wanted to keep it in the reference notebook, so I tipped it in there. And then this was also some reference stuff from GTD. So I actually was reminded of this from taking Romany's When Frogs Sing 2014 journaling class. It's been the creative planning section of that, and this is from the GTD website. So this is a free download. There's a ton of free information there, but this is really nice for when you're doing a brain dump to kind of make sure you're touching all the points both personally and professionally. So I'll put the link for that down below. So tipped that in so I'd always have it with me as well. Same folder as before. And then this is something I added. These are the month inserts from Rogue Crusade on Etsy. Again, I'll put the link down there. And I put these in because I'm only using one booklet at a time, and I really don't want to carry like both the August and the September booklet at the same time. I like to keep it down to just one current kind of monthly planner, but as you can see, during August I got all of this schedule here from Mike, and I wanted to make sure that I had it down somewhere where I could reference it just in case. So I downloaded the Road Crusade monthlies, and then we got the hockey schedule, so I started filling all that in. That's what all the red stuff is home games, away games. I'm just gonna hold tight 1 second because there's the garbage truck in the front of the house. So I washi taped in for now anytime I know Mike is going to be on the road. And then just stuff as it occurred to me while I was doing a brain dump, which I do in this notebook. We'll go over that in a minute. But stuff that was applicable to a certain month, I just kind of sit down to the piece of paper, get everything that's tumbling around in my head out of my head. That's what the brain dump is. There'll be a video coming up in 2 weeks about that, about how I do that. But then when I go through that list, stuff that's time sensitive, like I need to make sure before Mike goes on the road, like right before he goes on the road, to change his phone plan. I don't like doing it until right before he leaves because it's more expensive than our regular plan for him to have international, but he's going to be out of the country. So I usually change that like a day or two before he leaves. So I knew I had to do that in September. I had written it in the brain dump notebook, so I stuck it on this kind of a forward planning calendar. So I have September, October, November, and December in here right now. So that's all that is. It's just a couple of months of forward planning since I don't have those months in here as far as a daily, planner. And then there's just my card holder. The debit cards and all that are out of here because I've been carrying this as a wallet. So that's just business cards and Starbucks card and all that good stuff. And then let me show you, before I show you the September one, here's what the August one ended up looking like. Since we're to this part of the planner, I didn't end up using my monthly chart a whole lot, and I really don't know why. You guys know I tend to live off of my weekly charts, and I generally use this. I think it's because it was just in the booklet and the way this cardstock sat against the card holder, the steely here. I usually, when I opened it, I was opening it with the tabs. So I didn't end up using the washi tape that I had put down here for reference. I wanted to try it. I like tabs, and I knew that. Once I put this on, it was a day or two later, and I thought, oh, I want to tab my weeks. I always tab my weeks because that's my kind of main point of reference as far as planning things goes. Once I had those tabbed, I stopped using this entirely. So I didn't get as much on here as I usually do, and I think part of that's just because most of August was still summer break. So there was a whole bunch of stuff that I would normally track that wasn't even going on because it was summer break. So And then here are just the little icons that I use. It's kind of like bullet journaling. Just if I make a daily note about something, these are the icons I use so that they kind of catch my eye. I still color code as well. And then here is what the monthly calendar ended up looking like. And that's the other reason why I ended up not using my monthly chart. I was referring to the monthly calendar so much that instead of tucking this in this way, I flipped it the other way and folded it this way because I was referring to this so much. So because I was living off of this, I wasn't using this as much. So now that school is back in and it's September, I'm thinking, you know, my September one will be a little more what I'm used to, at least for normal. This column I ended up using if there was a week, like here this was the 4th, the 11th, the 18th, the 25th. If I had a bill due that week, I'd put it on a little green post-it and stick it right there. Because then I would see it. So that's what I had used that column for. And then once if it was a monthly bill, like the electric bill or, you know, the phone bill or whatever, once I used that and paid that bill, I would peel that post-it off of there and I stuck it onto the September calendar, the forward planning calendar for September. I just kind of stuck them down here so that when I started planning September, I had all the dates that everything had been due the week or the month before handy to me. So this is pretty much how, I mean, the rest of this I used pretty much like I always do. I was using this column and I'm still doing the same thing for just, I'm picking one thing a day that that is project related. So I'm one thing a day that I absolutely want to get done that day. It's not necessarily always project related. It might be something really important for one of the kids, you know, that I'm making sure I get done on a certain day. So it's just my one thing list, basically. It's my one thing that I'm choosing must get done that day. May not necessarily happen before anything else happens, depending on what's going on in that day, but that's my one thing that I am choosing that I think is important enough it has to get done that day, or a really time-sensitive thing. I did catch myself a couple times writing Dakota's work schedule in here, so that you'll see that here and there, but that had been after he'd had several days off in a row, and I wanted to make sure I saw it. So the very end of July is in here just because my inserts started in August, so I had put in some of my pages from my my version 2, my Filofax personal size version 2 DIY fish inserts, and then here's where the regular chart started. So these are a little bit different. Here's where the regular setup in this starts. So that's what they look like all filled in. Some doodling. And I did live off of these tabs. I used these tabs a lot, and all they are is the little, they're kind of like the post-it tape flags, the not paper ones, they're like kind of plastic. And then I used the Tim Holtz number stickers that you guys know I kind of stick on everything, and I stuck them right to the tape flag, and then I just trimmed the tape flag to match. The ones I used for September, I used a little bit thicker post-its just because these really took a beating. So that was August. I didn't really do anything a whole lot different than I always do as far as the way I set these up. Someone had asked if I would do a video showing these compared to my Filofax DIY fish inserts, and I'm definitely going to do that. That is on the list for this month. So I will show you guys any differences. I don't honestly use them a whole lot differently. One thing I did really find, especially this last week of August, because it was the first week of school for the kids, so I had time during the day with a little less mom guilt. Like Liam would take a nap, all the kids were at school, so I got a lot more work done last week. I was worried about missing my other day. I was using a day on 2 pages in my Filofax personal DIY fish. I use version 2. But because these are taller than the personal, I'm finding that I have plenty of room over here. The way I'm doing my projects also helped leave room over here for basically trying to stick to task stuff. The only things I did note over here was, like, I downloaded a book that I really, really want to get through, so I put a little pair of glasses next to it. That comes from this little list over here. So I knew that as I was setting up the next day, I would see that. But I'm not finding any space issues. Now, this is available with a day on 2 pages as well, so if you want a day on 2 pages, it's available. I have the day on 1 page because I just wanted to see if it would work, and so far it's working really, really well. So that was how August ended up looking in there, and I'll show you, since we were to that spot in the planner, here is the September booklet, if my fingers will work. So it's the same insert. I did put in different projects on here. Like I said, I'm kind of changing up the way I'm handling projects just because I really needed the change. So I don't know if it's a coming out of summer thing. I don't know, but so that's it. I'm not done filling this in yet. I'm still kind of letting it marinate and see what else I want to put down here. I usually put bills down here, but since I have been putting them over here in this column, it'd be nice if you could see that. Since I've been putting bills over here instead, I find that I really don't need them down there. And I think that's part of why I didn't look at this chart a whole lot. Usually I'm referring to this all the time as far as bills are concerned. And I put them on there for August, and then I really kind of forgot about them because just on a whim, I started using Post-its over here for the bills instead. They just line up with whatever day, so that's why it says 22. So Monday the 22nd, that one renews. So, and I can just take them right off of here. And what I'll do is, because they're all due at pretty much the same time every month, close to the same date every month, I just peel it off of here after it's paid, and I will go to the October forward planning page, and I'll just stick them down here somewhere. Okay, so that is how that is looking. So I don't know, I may leave this, I have it put in here folded like this with my chart showing. Depending on how heavily I'm relying on this calendar this month, I may flip it around this way. I may go back and forth. I'm not really sure. So because everybody always asks, I'll just explain really quick. The blue stuff is the boys, so this is when I have boys kind of coming and going. Anything with little dots is stuff that I have scheduled, like the 14th and the 28th. Romany and Vicky and I have videos that we're all kind of doing the same thing, like we've been doing in July and August. Those are the dates that our videos post, so I just put a little purple dot there. Purple is a project that involves somebody else, and then I made a note of why that dot was up there, up here. And then all the red stuff is when Mike is out of town in September for work. So he's gone with the hockey team a lot in September. So that was why having that forward planning calendar for September was really necessary, because, you know, I'm kind of trying to plug stuff in here and there, and knowing when he's not here helps me do that. So that is what the monthly calendar looks like. That is the bills column. This I haven't used yet, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I originally was going to, you know, any projects, let's say during week, that fall on a Monday. Let's say there's a Monday that I want to get some recording done, say next Monday the 8th. So then over here I would write the 8th, and then whatever it was that I wanted to record or edit. I'm trying to break down the recording and the blog post into a little bit smaller bits and pieces. Okay, sorry if there's a jump there, guys. Had to make a Kleenex run. So as I was saying, these boxes I'm not sure, because they each line up. Like this lines up with Mondays, this lines up with Tuesdays. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. If I decide to do a photo challenge this month, that's definitely where that will go. And the horizontal lines won't matter. I'll just list them all out by their date in numerical order. So we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen there. And then everything else is set up pretty much the same. This I have not filled in yet because yesterday was a holiday, except for this I definitely want, actually this is recording this video. So this was something I definitely wanted to get done today. So this will be the same thing. This will be anything that the kids or Mike throws out there. Hey, if you run to the store, you need this, that, or the other. If I've already done the grocery shopping trip. And then this will be my one big thing a day. And I have to do that actually when I'm done recording this. So, and then there is just your typical weekly calendar, weekly chart, and then the start of the daily pages. Okay, so all that's filled in there so far is a couple of tasks that I definitely want to get done on those specific days, and then the daily schedule for it. Okay, then the next thing in here is the back half of the card holder, the back half of the folder, and the back half, or the front half of the zipper pocket. This one is still just, it's another one of these lightweight Midori inserts. So this is just journaling, drawing, you know, not really scribbling. I tend to keep the scribbling in one of my other field note size, but you know, anything that I'm trying to learn to sketch and watercolor and whatnot, because I find it incredibly relaxing. So the ones that that aren't kind of a sit down and do it in 5, 10, 15 minutes thing, the ones that are kind of, they take some more time, that's what I'm putting in here. And then these are all projects. So what I'm doing, the tech stuff is set up exactly the same way. Those are essays I want to write that I still haven't written. What this kind of turned into is this is being used in conjunction with this. So I'm kind of putting down what I want to record this is all YouTube stuff, what I want to record, what month I want to do it, and anything that pops in my head at the time that I'm adding it to the list here, I put down with it. Okay? And then from there it moves into here, and I'll show you why in a second. So here's some more stuff for the book. There's some stuff for a website I'm working on. And that is it for that. So it's kind of like a running list of projects, but it works in conjunction with this little puppy. So that is, oops, I got hung up on my pen. That's that one. And then what I'm doing in here, we'll come back to that whole project thing, but in my field note size, I still have just my little cardstock folder that I slapped together. This is just the brain dump notebook, so I've got, you know, some dates coming up. I am a reminder to sign up for Romany's When Frogs Sing class for next year. This was just some stuff jumped into my head, and I didn't have this right on me. It was in the other room, so I grabbed a Post-it note and wrote it down. A couple of wish lists. What I'm toying with keeping on my weekly chart, and a list of band stuff for one of the boys. If you've watched my time tracking videos, you guys have seen this. This is how I'm tracking my time right now. And I'll put a link for the blog post in the video for that down below if you haven't seen that. So that's just how I'm tracking my time. And then this is where I'm doing video projects. Well, these two notebooks actually. And you know what, I will do a separate video on this now that I'm thinking about it. Basically, what I'm doing is I go through my list in here. I decided what I want to record in September, and I marked it in here as September, and I circled it. And then I laid out, this is the stuff that I always do. I moved these from Sunday to Monday, but I do this stuff as blog posts and before shots and after shots for my planner. I do those on Mondays and Wednesdays. This is going to blow away. And then, so I put that in here first. These are scheduled videos every month, so I put those in here. And then everything I wanted to get recorded this month I put in here. And these are my week 36 and 37 before and after shots, because I'm trying to split up doing those. I tend to have to sit down and do them in one big chunk. Kind of like I have to sit down and like do all of the description and the blog post for a video and all the tags that go on that blog post and all the tags that go with the description on YouTube. And I tend to sit down and do all that all in one chunk, and it's just not working. So I definitely need to, you know, I'm always going on about those stolen moments. If I have planned ahead what I want to record, I can use those 5 or 10 minutes of stolen moments while I'm waiting at a school to pick somebody up to hop online and find certain links that I know I'm going to talk about in that video. And when I do that, I make a note of it. Oh, I'm so sorry for my nose, you guys. In here, and this is an Evernote journal. Okay, another Kleenex run. Okay, so as I was saying, this is an Evernote cahier from Moleskine, and the way I'm using this is, as I said, I'm, you know, kind of breaking down per month what I want to do for videos, what my normally scheduled blog posts and social media posts are, and then once I decide, okay, I want to do this video on week 36, then I move it as a page into this Evernote Moleskine cahier. So I note down anything I know, like for this video here, I had noted down, I know that these are the things I need to find links for the stuff that's in my regular planner and the stuff that's in my field notes planner. And then when I have 5 or 10 minutes sitting at a school, you know, waiting for somebody to get out, I can jump online and start looking up those links and saving them. It makes putting the blog post and the YouTube post so much quicker when I already have them written down. So I just would note them here. Okay, and then once I record the video and I'm going through and editing it, I listen through it one time, and anything that might have popped in my head that I mentioned while recording the video, I will also put down on the same page. And then when I'm all done, video is posted, I put the date that it was posted on the corner, I put the short link to my blog post that video is embedded in on here, and I put one of these little stickers on it. These stickers come with the notebooks. They automatically tell Evernote what notebook you want this note put into, and if you want it tagged at all, how you want it tagged. And you can program this in the app on your phone or your tablet. So when I'm all done, you know, when I finished this post, I wrote the short link on it, put that sticker on it, snapped a picture of it in Evernote, and uploaded it. It makes all the handwriting searchable, automatically puts it in the notebook I want it in, and automatically tags it appropriately. And because the short link is already written on there, I am not any longer manually keeping a list of short links going. I have this huge list of, I don't even know, 30 or 40, maybe even a few more short links, one big long note in Evernote, and now I don't have to do that anymore. The short link is right there. I can search it. I also know it's in here. You know, if it's a recent video, it's going to be in this book and it's with me anyway, and I can just look it up. But it is nice to have the handwriting searchable as well. And I schedule when I want to do that stuff in here, depending on what the day looks like. Okay, so I know for the 1 week or for the month of September, I wanted to get these done. So I had put, well, this one I'd like to record and post in week 36, these two. I combined them into one video. This one goes up the 14th. This gets posted the 8th. So I kind of planned out definitely what I want to get done at least this first week of September. And then I just kind of looked at the calendar and said, okay, when can I get this done? Well, here I've got a chunk of time where Liam's home, but everybody else is at school. If it's not raining, I'll get that done. So it is time for me to go get another Kleenex, as you can probably hear. If you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, remarks, any of that good stuff, let me know. And show me what your September setup is looking like. If you're trying something different, if you've found your sweet spot and you have something that's working really well for you, show us and let us know, okay? Thank you guys so much. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.